Yeah, thank you for joining me. This is a two-part live. We're going to start off with Wendy Williams first. She was seen out in a New Jersey wellness center store. It was an African store, and I'm assuming this is the one of the workers or owners of the store. And he's giving Miss Wendy a hug. She looks awfully pale, but allegedly he claimed that she appeared healthy. Also, there's a photograph of her son in the store. So, where has she been, Wendy Williams? I had been saying for months that I didn't know what was going on with Wendy Williams, what was going to happen with her health, what was going to happen with her physically, mentally, her whole body. Because, when a person is absent and they're not talking to the family because the family claimed that they had no contact with her, they hadn't seen her, they weren't allowed to visit, call. She was only able to make outbound calls from wherever she was. It was, you didn't know what to think. So now we have information that she has been seen. And this is Wendy Williams in a photograph hugging a guy at a store. Also, her son's in another photograph as well. So where has she been? Was she in a facility in New Jersey and or New York or a neighboring state? Number one. What has become of her physical health? What did they do? What did they treat her for? How is she doing? Now that she's been seen out with the son, what do we deduct from this photograph? Will she be able to navigate on herself? Will she also still have a conservatorship? I'm curious to that. Okay. She has a close relationship with her son. Naturally, she'll want to still deal with her son, her family members, brother, sister, parents. So what is going to become of Wendy Williams? Will she still have a conservatorship? That is what I'm curious to know, because months ago, and I've said it recently, I didn't know if this lady was alive or deceased. I said, I won't doubt that one day we'll hear she's not alive and she'll be flat broke. As you know, she owed money on a home in New York. I believe there were back taxes owed. The ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, was still trying to get money from her. And the conservatorship feels as though that Wendy didn't owe him any money, due to the time frame of filing, paperwork and divorce papers, and the issue of her not having income after the Wendy Williams show was disbanded. Hello, Scott. So that was a part of the deal of the divorce, is that, he would only receive income that she had at the time. So I believe at the time of finalizing or filing divorce, she was no longer working for the Wendy Williams show. She no longer had her show. So what is her current health? As I say, she looks awfully pale in this photograph of her. My screen may appear really, really light, but she still looks pale in the picture. She's not a dark-skinned lady or a brown. She's not really brown-skinned. She's a lighter-skinned Black person, but she looks awfully, awfully pale here, and that's possibly from not getting any sun. She's not out in the sun. She's not getting any vitamin D to be, wandering around like most people who are out here running around, involved in activities and doing things. You're going to have some pigment, to your skin. But this would lead me to believe that she was housed somewhere where she didn't get out and run around. So, long story short, what is going to happen now? Will she be able to navigate for herself, number one? Will she be able to live on her own? Because if she's out at a store with her son, that means somebody has allowed her to what? Roam about? Leave the facility? So was this a day pass to let her out to be out? See, I don't know. Day pass out, or she's fully out but still has a conservatorship. So does she still have this lady over her finances? That's what I'd like to know. Where is she going to be living if she's freed? It sounds horrible to say that, but I'm sure she feels like she was in captivity. If she's free to roam about on her own, where is she staying? Will she have free range to orchestrate her finances on her own? I don't know what's going to happen with Wendy Williams because I don't really know what's going on because I haven't got any information pertaining to the conservatorship, if she still has it or not, if that lady's still over her money, But I knew at some point somebody was going to have to bring this lady out, because a whole year in a facility or longer, 2 years, is just ridiculous. No contact with anybody. She can't talk to anybody. That's a lonely life for a person. I don't care what they're going through. I don't care what they're suffering from. If they have a mental disease, it's alcohol, drugs, dementia, whatever it is. That's not fair to a human not to have constant interaction with friends and family. It's one thing if you don't have any friends or family to visit you and you're, let's say, in a nursing home or rehab. This wasn't her situation. She had friends and family and people who were concerned about her. And I don't know the logistics of what really happened with her finances. If her son was overspending her money, she just gave him her credit card and he just went berserk and it flagged at the bank. I don't know, but I'm praying that this issue will be resolved, because whether we like her or not, you like Wendy Williams or not, she's still entitled to have some form of normalcy of a life. Now, some people might disagree because of her history of, what some would be considered a messy boots, but that was her thing. Having that show, she was messy on her show, and some will say you go farther back in her history as a radio DJ, she was just as messy then. So that's just, I guess, who Wendy Williams is. But nonetheless, she became ill, sick from this mental disorder. This brain disorder, whatever, from the drinking, drug usage. So she's still a human, whether you like her or not. And I don't believe in cutting somebody off from their family because of some type of, mental situation. So, it's just a jacked up situation. It's just a jacked up situation. So it is what it is. Wendy Williams seen out, everybody, out in public at this African wellness shop. They said she bought some type of brain fog, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But anyway, what's going to happen now with Kevin Hunter? He sees this photograph, which I'm sure he's gotten wind that she's free. Is he still going to be coming for her wanting money? Because we don't really know what she has as far as money. Okay? What are her finances? What does she have right now in the bank? I don't know. Oh, Lord. This is what happens when you go live. Everybody's got to come in with something. So, once again, does she still have the conservatorship? Is she free to roam? Is Kevin Hunter still going to be asking for money? I won't doubt that he will. Hello, Luminous. I won't doubt that he will. He'll still be asking for funds. So, I don't know the state of Wendy Williams' situation, but we will see what happens with her. I'll bring you an update when I get it. Okay, now I'm going to go to my other situation. My other story. 1 second, everybody. Go to backspace a bit. We're going to talk about this terrible story in Georgia. You don't hear a damn thing flicking. Wait 1 second. This kid right here. My next story, Noah Bush. Back in May, this child was found drowned in a burrow pit. And he was there with some other children, two other kids. I don't know if they're boys, girls, what, don't know the race. But this happened in Georgia. Anywho, he went missing. He was later found. And an investigation ensued. So the children were investigated that were with him, a 10-year-old and 11-year-old. Well, they have been now sentenced to a detention facility for children for 2 years. His mother feels like it's unjust, this 2-year sentence. She wants life for the 11-year-old boy. who willingly and admitted that he and the other children waited in this pit, clay pit, and he pushed the child, the 8-year-old child at the time, down into this water pit and drowned him. What type of world are we living in? What type of world are we living in? Family of boy who drowned in borrow pit calls for more arrests after 10 and 11-year-old are charged. And then we have this here that shows they've been sentenced. 2 children sentenced for intentional drowning death of boy that attorney says was racially motivated. So now we know the children obviously were white. So what? 2 white boys, 10 and 11, decided to harm this black child, 8 years old. Some might say, well, what was he doing playing with them in the first place? 8-year-old and 11. Well, we all have played with children in different age groups. So how well did he know these kids? Know them from school? Did he know them from the neighborhood? What happened? Because obviously he was alone with these 2 children. Is there an issue? That other article I just showed you where they said they wanted other arrests. So are we going to now hear what? That there were other children present? Because I find that interesting. Were other children present? And right here by the root says white kid confesses to drowning black kid. Let's open it up. See what they have to say. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. 2 children sentenced for intentional drowning death. A boy that attorney says was racially motivated. 11 News is the source. Get this off my screen. Hold on, everybody. Trying to navigate. Wayne County, Georgia. Don't know if you all are familiar with Wayne County, Georgia or not. Two children have been sentenced in the drowning death of another child in Georgia that happened in May, according to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. 8-year-old Noah Bush was intentionally drowned on May 15th, the day he was reported missing. His body was found the next day thanks to K-9s and search efforts. At first, officials thought the drowning may have been accidental, but an autopsy ruled his death a homicide. Officials said the 2 children charged in Noah's death are just 10 and 11 years old. 10-year-old has already been sentenced in the case for concealing the death of another and trespassing, although the exact sentence was not clear. The 11-year-old appeared in court Wednesday on charges of simple battery, involuntary manslaughter, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespassing. The 11-year-old pleaded guilty to all 4 counts. Prosecutors said the 11-year-old admitted to leading Noah down to clay pits, pushing him in the water, and holding his head underwater until he drowned. Wow, that's deep. He walked away with people he believed were his friends and trustworthy. Noah's family attorney, Francis Johnson, said the 11-year-old child received the maximum sentence allowable by Georgia state law, which is 2 years of confinement. However, Noah's family said the sentence is not enough. This isn't justice, Noah's mother, Demetrius Bush, said. My baby was 8 years old with full life ahead of him, and 2 years of confinement is what the state of Georgia calls justice for an entire life that's lost. Johnson said the death was the consequence of adults teaching hate and that he believes the crime was racially motivated. There are people who feel that way. They fly flags in their yards, post signs, they get on Facebook, they do this in front of their children as if their children are not just soaking this up. This is the consequence when you don't stand against hate, Johnson said. Officials said no adults have been charged in the case. However, Noah's family and attorney said they want to see charges brought against adults who they believe had a hand in influencing the children. Very interesting. Wow. I have to put that on a poll. The mother of the 11-year-old other charges unrelated to this case, including probation violation, officials said. I think it's also false information. I thought I read in another article why she's incarcerated. Johnson said Wednesday's court date was the most heart-wrenching hearing that I think been a part of in my practice. Noah's mom said even with the 2 children now sentenced, the case is not over for her. There is no peace. There is no comfort. There is no closure for me, she said through the tears. I will live with this for the rest of my life. The names of the children responsible for Noah's death have not been released, according to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. Georgia state law does not allow the names of juveniles to be released, which that's probably prevalent in most states. You cannot release the names of children, but people will find out who they are, and some people will go ahead and mention their names, on social media anyway. Noah was a second grader at James E. Bacon Elementary School when he died. The Wayne County School System released a statement at the time that read, "It is with deep sadness that the Wayne County School System family acknowledges the death of James E. Bacon Elementary School second grade student Noah Bush. Noah had also formerly been a student at Jessup Elementary School, having been at Beacon B for several years. Noah's passing will certainly have a significant impact on students and staff members at that school. As a result, the school system had grief counselors on site at JEB yesterday, and we'll have them there again today to assist those who may need to talk with someone. Please be in prayer for Noah's family during this difficult time and support them with love and compassion." That was from the school at the time. So here we have this 8-year-old black child out having fun, he thought, with, I'm assuming, 2 white children, and they lured him deliberately, or one lured him deliberately, the 11-year-old. Don't know the size of the children. They were bigger than him, because that's what I was trying to figure out in my head before I knew that the children were white. The size of the kids. But naturally, you can't fight off more than one child, depending on the weight of the children and how they, take you down, rather. He's out having fun, doing boy stuff, wading in water, private property, obviously. Because both children were charged with trespassing. So that means you're on somebody's property that you weren't supposed to be on. And besides that, involuntary. Is it involuntary? I'm going to put that on the poll as well. Was this involuntary? Because you went there on private property. Was there a sign that showed it was private property? Do not trespass. You can read. 11-year-old should be able to read. 10-year-old too. 8-year-old too. Hey, we're not supposed to be over here. Did the other boy tell the other kid, hey, we're not supposed to be here? Or was he also a willing participant as well? Hell, did they talk about it before getting with this little black boy, Noah Bush? Hey, let's go take Noah down to that little borrow pit and drown him. Don't know. Children are savvy now. They know how to talk. They know how to say all type of things that show they have knowledge of right and wrong. And I think these boys knew right from wrong. So when they went over this property, went into this borrow pit, did the boy have any reservations? Noah Bush, this little black kid. Did he have any idea? I probably shouldn't be in this pit. Probably shouldn't be on this property. Getting a bad feeling, but he went along with it. Because children, they have instincts as well, but they go along with things just like adults do. You got a feeling something ain't right, but you ride the wave. Did he ride the wave on this fateful day? Yeah, he's a cute kid. Did he ride the wave on this fateful day? I shouldn't be trespassing. I shouldn't be getting in this pit. Probably thick, probably deep. Because it's clay. So this is bad. Clay pit. Why go in there? But he's a kid. He's 8 years old. Following the leader, as they say. Following this other big kid. Let me follow these other kids. So let's ask that question. Did they deliberately lure the child into the pit? Did they specifically go find him, knock on his door, call him to go into the pit? Number one. What was the relationship with the child and the other 2 children, the 10-year-old and the 11-year-old? Did he know them well? Were they his friends in school? Were they his friends in the neighborhood? How did he come to be in the presence of these children to go to this pit? How far was his home to the pit? So you got to ask all those questions. How far did they venture from their house, their home, apartment, trailer park, whatever, to the pit? And imagine these 2 kids holding this secret. They've drowned this kid deliberately. 11-year-old, and held him down in the water and drowned him. It appeared to be an accidental drowning, but the autopsy later says it was homicide. Interesting. What techniques did law enforcement use to get these children to confess? Because some children can hold a lie. We know that children lie. Some are damn good liars. Was this racially motivated? Did they lure this child here because he's African American? They didn't like him. They decided to play a cruel prank, which led to murder. And as I've always said, when you do certain things, you have to know in your head it can lead to murder, such as strangulation, suffocation. You can't say later, oh, I was just kidding. I was just playing. We were horsing around. There's no such thing as horsing around with your hands around somebody's throat. Putting a pillow or an object over somebody's face, nose, mouth. It's not playing. It's deliberate. So was this a deliberate homicide of a child by other children? Because it's hard to deliberately harm another child, but it happens all the time. Children do harm other children. Children also harm adults. They're big enough to throw their weight on them, fight them, hit them, shoot them. We've seen many children who have unalived other children. Children unalive their own family members, their parents. Children are deadly because it's the mindset. So let's go to the mindset. Were these children taught to hate, despise Black people? The mother wants more done, wants parents charged. The 11-year-old mother, she's already in jail for other probation violations and I think giving false information to cops. Where are the other parents of the 10-year-old? How do they feel about this confession of the boys? I'm assuming they're boy children. Good God, it'd be crazy to hear it was a girl involved. But we have diabolical girl children as well. So how do the parents feel about their children being in a 2-year detention facility? How do you all feel about 2 years in a detention facility? This is Georgia law. This is all they can get. Because they're children. We get it. Should a 10-year-old and 11-year-old be charged as adults? So what are we saying? Stay in the detention facility up until 18, 21, or then get released and go into what? Federal prison, state prison? Should these children have stayed in the facility up until 18 for murdering this boy, this Black child? So let's weigh it out. Stay in the facility until 18, 21, then freed. Or stay in the facility until 18, 21, and then move to a real prison and do more time. Georgia has strict laws on all types of things. I always tell people in certain states you just don't want to do certain things in. Georgia is that state. Kentucky's also that state. Certain states, I don't recommend you breaking the law, period. I don't give a damn what it is. Kentucky, Georgia, these bottom states are not the best places to do certain things. But then the flip of the coin is that you see people get off on murder, pretrial release, ankle bracelets, and they're grown. Walking around committing more crimes while out on pretrial release for a murder. Saw a case like that many years ago of a man killing a woman down in Roane County. He was able to bond out, walk around, and he was steady committing crimes, all the way up in Chattanooga, drinking and driving. They let him out. Didn't even know he's out on bond for murder. Oh, we don't know. We didn't see that. How could you miss it? So you got a murderer walking around, drinking and driving, and gets arrested in Chattanooga and then gets released. That's what I'm saying. The system is flawed because everything's about the computer, putting information into the computer. Georgia has strict laws, especially when it comes to murder. You most definitely going to get some time. Murder, sexual assault, children having sex with each other. Remember that case of a Black boy having sex with a white girl many years ago? He got a lengthy sentence in prison for having sex with a white girl. That's taboo. But then someone would say, well, I wonder if he'd have gotten the same sentence had he slept with a Black girl. Probably not. Probably not. What should the punishment be for the 10-year-old and 11-year-old? Should they remain in the facility, number one, until 18 or 21? Is 2 years enough? Should it be 4 years? Or should it be they stay in the facility up until 18, 21, and then move to a grown man's facility, grown adult prison for men? What say you, the chat? That is the latest information coming out of Georgia, Wayne County. Noah Bush, has justice, been served by a 2-year sentence for an 11-year-old and a 10-year-old. And the other part of this live is pertaining to Wendy Williams. She has finally surfaced alive in the state of New Jersey. She was seen at an African wellness store buying some type of supplements, brain fog supplements. Her son was also there with her. And I do not know the details pertaining to her conservatorship, if she's still under it, if she's living in New York, if she's living in New Jersey, if she's in a house, apartment, or she had a day pass. They finally decided to let her out for the day, but she has to go back. Don't know anything. But when I get an update, I will bring you that information. Please check my shorts, because I always do a short pertaining to my content during a live. So there will be this video and also a short pertaining to this information that you hear in this live stream. Check my community page for updates. And I also have a lot of videos I shared to the network yesterday of older content from a few years ago, 2021, pertaining to dating, being an African-American female dating. I'll probably come back on later, because I said I was going to either do one last night or tonight to talk about being an African-American woman at my age, dating, what it's like. I want to share some thoughts with you all. Maybe I can get somebody to come on and join me. But if not, it'll just be me shooting straight from the hip with you guys, my journey as a Black woman trying to date. It's very difficult at this age of 53. The pickings are slim. As I've said before in my years on YouTube talking about dating, I live generally in a predominantly white area. The state is predominantly white. East Tennessee does not have a lot of Black people. You don't get more ethnic until you get to Chattanooga, Nashville, Memphis. This area here, as I said, is predominantly white. So my pickings are slim if I want to date a Black man. But nonetheless, I want to share my journey with you. Please check out my video about why a woman would leave a man, husband. I stayed up until the wee hours watching my video. I've never laughed so hard in all my life. That was probably one of my best live streams from 21. I probably filmed that around February 2021. It was right after my birthday. And I miss those days. I miss those live streams where I had people come up and we really chopped it up. We weren't talking about true crime and, mayhem, but just talking about everyday life. And I really do miss those live streams. So I plan on bringing that type of content back to the network in the near future. So please feel free to check out my content here on YouTube. Check out my shorts. Check out my community page where I bring you updates. I bring you movies of the week. Feel free to check out my movie suggestions of the week. And also follow me on the Newsbreak app. On the app, they have videos, they have posts, they have articles. I also post content there. I haven't posted anything in about a week because it takes so long to upload videos to Newsbreak for some weird reason. They give you like 10 minutes of video time, but it seems like the longer the video is, 4 minutes, 5 on, it takes forever for it to upload. So I haven't uploaded any videos because it takes too long. But you can follow me commenting on other news articles pertaining to things going on here in the U.S., abroad, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much for your time. 2-part live, Wendy Williams, seen finally in New Jersey at a wellness store, and Noah Bush, 2 children charged in his drowning down in Wayne County, Georgia. They will be in a facility for 2 years. Take the polls on my community page. Be heard. You all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll be back with more stimulating content and commentary. Thank you, Luminous. Thank you all for joining me. You have been listening to The Vault XL.